Hi guys, welcome to this week's video. If you're new here, my name is Shay and you guessed it, I have another secondhand book haul for you guys, which is obviously in the title of the video for today. If you haven't been here before, I built myself a library and I will show you these at the end when I put the books away. But I have been trying my best to collect as many books, especially secondhand books, as I can to fill up my TBR side. The other side of the wall is essentially a mirror image to this, but it's all the books that I've read before. There's a couple on there that I haven't read because I've tried to keep a series together. But for the most part, I think there's maybe 2 or 3 books over that side that I haven't read yet. And there are a couple on this side that I have read, again, because I'm trying to keep the series together. But with that said, I have been buying as many cheap secondhand books as I can. A lot of these books, I think the most expensive one on the shelf might have been $10, but otherwise they're all around the $1 to $3 mark. And I will tell you the prices of all the books that I paid for that I have with me. So I've been trying to use, I'm currently subscribed to Kindle Unlimited, so I wanted to see if that would be worth the money for me, because it is, I think, $14 or $15 a month, and I do read quite a lot of books, but I wasn't sure if it would be worth the money. So I thought I'd trial it out for the rest of this year, and then next year I'll focus on the physical books that I own, because as much as I want full shelves, I don't want to keep books that I'm not loving and not going to want to reread. Whether I reread all of my books, I definitely do reread quite a few. So I am trying to build up a collection. But as I fill up this side, which is the TBR side or the to be read side, I want to make sure that the ones that I want to keep are only going on this side, and I'll just redonate the rest. So there is quite a lot of books here and there is a lot of books coming in, but like I said, most of these are all secondhand. So they're being pulled out of op shops where if they don't sell, they might go to landfill anyway. So hopefully that if you are someone that is super concerned with overconsumption, that sort of gives you an explanation as to why I've got so many. But honestly, it is my money if I wanted 500 books on my shelves. I'm spending my money, I'm paying my bills. But anyway, we're going to get into the actual haul of what I got. So one of the op shops that I went to had quite a lot of books donated that were ARCs or advanced reader copies. So someone must have de-stashed. So I'll go through those first. One of the first ones was the Bell Witches. I got this one for $3. So this is a 2024 release, but as you can see, it is an art copy because it has a release date on it. So this is by Lindsay Kelk. I haven't read anything from that author before, but anything that's sort of like fantasy, I'm pretty much down for. So yeah, the Bell Witch or the Bell Witches, sorry, is the first book. Then all of these are at the same op shop, all these ARCs. The next one was The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle. So the back has the actual cover picture on it. But this ARC one obviously also come out in 2024. So these are all 2024 ARCs by the looks of them. If I really like them, I think sometimes ARCs might have changes when they're published, but for the most part, if I like this book, it will be good enough for me to keep. But if I really, really love it and care about getting like a traditionally published one, I can always just then buy or look for a secondhand copy of the ARCs that I have here. But it's still, you know, I'm paying $3 for this, even though they would have got it for free probably. It's well worth the money just to see if I like it or not. The next one was also, I think these must have all been released in October 2024, because the next ARC is Sorcery and Small Magics by Mega Ducey. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. So this one I paid $4 for, and this one is, I believe, I paid $4 for The Dagger and the Flame as well. I can't remember if I said that. So yeah, this one is, I think it's meant to be maybe a little bit more cozy mystery, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't really know what it's about, but I grabbed that one anyway. And then I think the last ARC copy of a book I got was The Favourites by Lane Fargo. I got this one for $3. This one was a January 2025 release. And it says vintage on the back, but I don't know why, because obviously if it's been released this year, it's not quite vintage. But I have heard this one is very like drama filled, so I'm not 100% sure if this is going to be one that I will fully enjoy, but I thought since it's quite a popular and recent release, it's worth the $3 I spent, and then if I don't love it, I'll just redonate it or put it in like a little library and maybe swap it for something else. The next two I have read both. These are just books that I am collecting and trying to get the entire set for. So this is Nalini Singh's Guild Hunter set. So I got Archangel's Consort, which I got for $3. And then for $3, I also got Archangel's Storm. I do have Archangel's Consort, but it's a different cover. So I grabbed this one to swap it out. And then any duplicates I get, because I try not to get duplicates. I do keep a record of everything that I have in my Goodreads, but sometimes I make mistakes, or sometimes I find secondhand ones. And I did like have a couple of the, where are they? Up here, the Sarah J Maas Throne of Glass sets. I'd managed to find the first book and the novella, and then I was kindly gifted the entire box set. So I have the thrifted copies that I found in my car for if I ever come across a small library or a little free library and want to swap out a book. So I think I'll do that for the Archangel's Consort, but I'll show you what the cover looks like. So I have also just like a traditional like pocket book copy of Archangel's Consort. So the rest I've collected in this set, and so I'll just swap that one out. I'm sorry if the angle moves a little bit. Sometimes if I let the footage go for too long, it won't upload properly. So I'm trying to keep my clips short. But the next book I have actually read, but I might do a reread and then continue the series on, because I don't know why, but for some reason I just didn't continue the series. Whether it was just because the books weren't available or not, I'm not sure. But that is Scarlett St. Clair's A Touch of Darkness. So this is like a Hades and Persephone retelling, but also it's more, what do they call it? I can't think. It's like set in modern times, so it's still a little bit paranormal, but it's, wow, it's gone out of my brain. Anyway, if I remember, I'll put it up on the screen. But yeah, so A Touch of Darkness. So I am curious to read the other, I think there's 4 books in this series, plus I think the first couple of books are rewritten in the male perspective. So yeah, I did enjoy this one, the first book, from what I can remember. So I think a reread and then maybe continuing the series is something that I will do in the future. And then I found a couple of random books that I'd never heard of, and then a couple of books that are quite popular, maybe not recently, but have been popular before. So the first one I found was Olivia Dade's Spoiler Alert. So this one was a $3 purchase. It is about, I think, the main male character is a actor on a particular sort of TV show, and I think the female main character is sort of like a super fan on, I don't know, a sort of like a LARPing type of thing maybe. And then, yeah, they meet up for whatever reason. It's some sort of Comic-Con maybe type thing. Or I could be completely wrong, but I don't know. Anyway, it looked cute, so I bought it. Most of these I've kind of picked up without any context, so there is that. The next one, I hadn't ever heard of this one, but it's called The Binding by Bridget Collins. I just read the book blurb, and basically it's sort of like a possibly magical realism type book where a young boy or a young man works as an apprentice to a bookbinder, but the bookbinder, he binds people's secrets or memories, and then those memories are then wiped away from the person's brain essentially, and then he ends up finding a book with his name on it. So it just sounded really interesting, and the premise of like, would you actually look in the book if you can't remember what you put in there? So this one I got for $4. It is the breakout sensation of the year for whichever year it was published, which I don't know. But yeah, this one just sounded really interesting, so I thought I would grab that as well. And then the next one I got, I don't know how to pronounce this name again. It's called Don't You Forget About Me by Mahari McFarlane. Yeah, sorry, I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but it was $4. And I think it's sort of like a childhood friends to lovers type situation. But yeah, this one just looked cute, and I love a good romance, so I just thought I'd pick that one up as well. Okay, so the next one is Jessa Hastings' Daisy Hates. I got this one for $3. I own Magnolia Parks, but I haven't read it yet. And I think I also paid $3 for Magnolia Parks, but it's going to be too hard for me to find quickly. But I thought because I wasn't sure if I was going to like Magnolia Parks. Again, I'm not into that sort of like toxic sort of, I don't know how to sort of describe it, but I know people sort of describe it as a little bit like Gossip Girl type toxic relationships, which I'm not a huge lover of, but I've heard that if you don't like the Magnolia Parks sort of storyline, that the Daisy Hates one is better. So I thought for $3 again, I'll give it a go, and worst case scenario, if I don't like it, I'll just redonate it. And then I also found Lucy Score's Things We Left Behind. I have got Things We Never Got Over. So I have to just maybe try and find Things We Hide from the Light. But I got this one for $4. I have no clue what it's about. All I sort of know is that it is like a, I think, interconnected standalone romance series. But this one looked brand new. Like the cover isn't bent at all. The pages are really white. There were 2 copies there. One was a little bit more worn than this one. So yeah, I lucked out in this one, and it's basically brand new. I mean, most of these actually sort of look relatively new. Then I found one called The Loneliest. No, sorry, I can't read. I think this one might be an ARC. No, maybe not. This one is by Kate Ling. It's called The Loneliness of Distant Beings. Wow, that was such a tongue twister for no reason. The Loneliness of Distant Beings by Kate Ling. This one was only $2. The synopsis, all it says is, it is that quick, that strong, that beautiful, and it is also totally impossible. So this one's a YA, which is not usually my favorite, but I did have a quick look on Goodreads to see what it was about. And honestly, I can't even remember now, but it obviously intrigued me enough for me to buy it. And the writing in this is really big. So I think this would basically take me like a day, maybe 2 to read. And if it's good, then what a bargain, $2. So yeah, this one, I think it is some sort of like maybe science fiction or fantasy, but I'm not really sure. I couldn't tell you, I don't know. The next one, again, sort of in the same vein as like Daisy Hates and The Favourites. I found Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This one for $2. I know this is quite a popular series, and I think there's quite a few books in the series. And it's around 2 people who have different addictions coming together, but I thought I'd give it a go. Again, it's probably not going to be 100% up my alley, but if I never read books that I wasn't 100% sure on, I probably wouldn't read anything. So I thought it would be worth giving it a go. And considering it was only $2, better to pay $2 and love it than paying like full price for a brand new book that I don't love. So at least that way, if I redonate it, it's no big deal. Same as this next one, I got it from the 50 cent bargain bin, and it's Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I have been putting off watching this movie so I could read the book first, but I was just sort of not really tempted to read the book at all. So I thought for 50 cents, the universe is telling me that I need to at least put it on my TBR shelves, because I nearly pick it up every single time. There's copies of this book everywhere in the op shops. So yeah, I listened to the universe. It said 50 cents, take this home. So I did. Despite just saying that I'm not a huge lover of YA, I think this next book is also YA or potentially new adult. It's called Kind of a Big Deal by Shannon Hale. The synopsis, I also got this one for $2, but the synopsis says that she was a child star, the main character was a child star, and now that she's sort of, I think, potentially a teenager or late teenager, early 20s, she is essentially not unemployed pretty much. And then it's just like, how do you come back from being a child star to then being unemployed? Especially when I think she would pulled herself out of school to do this job. Again, it's got huge writing and I just really enjoyed the premise. So if it's no good, then I'll just redonate it. Otherwise, it does sound interesting and I think it should be a fun read. Another one I found that I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be up my alley, but it was $2 and it's The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. While I do sort of like the idea of the premise, I'm not 100% sure what it is about, but I'm pretty sure it's just about a woman that gets to go into this particular library and somehow relive or redo events of her life. And those stories are fun and intriguing to me. So, yeah, this might actually be a fantastic read and I've just put it off like looking at books like this for no reason. So I thought for $2 again, I'll grab it. Like essentially I'm looking at like the prices of secondhand books and going, I'll just take it. I'll just take it. But you know, I'm trying to fill a lot of shelves up and now is the time to go through and pick out books that wouldn't normally be my preferred genre, I think. I can be a little bit more daring with secondhand books, I think. All right, I have 3 more secondhand books and then 2 brand new books that I have picked up. So I found Cross the Line by Simone Soltani. This is obviously an F1 book by the cover. I haven't heard of this author before. This book's a little bit beat up. This person's obviously a cover folder, which used to be me, but I'm a little bit more careful now. But it was $2. And honestly, I don't mind a little bit of wear and tear on the books. They are secondhand. And then I'm not too precious about my books either. Most of mine have broken spines, so I'm not going to try and protect the books too much, but I can just tell that you can just tell when someone holds the covers like this, which is usually me. So a little bit of bent pages is no big deal. And then I also found The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. This one I grabbed for $2. I've almost, I think, collected the majority of Ali Hazelwood's books at this point, and the only one I've actually read is Bride. And I really enjoy Bride and I'm looking forward to Mate coming out, I think this year, maybe next month. But yeah, it's the only one that I've read so far. I haven't even read any of her others, but I have quite a lot. I don't know where they are on my shelves to be able to see. I can't see from here. Where are you? Where? They're just up here. So I've already got Check and Mate, Love on the Brain, Love Theoretically, and now I have The Love Hypothesis, which I don't know if there's 3 or 4 that sort of link in together with those particular ones. But yeah, so that's what I've got. Same with Emily Henry. I've got quite a lot of Emily Henry and yet to read any of her books, but I hear a lot of things, like good things about Ali Hazelwood books, and I don't know if liking Bride means I'll like these as much, because I feel like some of the consensus is, that one, if you like that one, you might not like some of these as much, but I'm choosing to go in with an open mind because I do just love even if it is like the most cheesiest romance, sometimes when I'm in the mood for that, that is exactly just what I want. So I'm looking forward to reading more of her books. And then the last secondhand book I got for $2 was Staying Dead by Laura Ann Gilman. This is one of a series, but this is quite an older series, I think. And it is sort of like a sci-fi, supernatural, sort of like modern, I don't know if they're kind of like bounty hunters or, yeah, that's sort of like private investigator type solving crimes books. And I haven't read books like that for quite a while. So when I read this one, even though there was no others from that particular series in there, I thought this would be intriguing to read because I used to love books along these lines. And the font in this, I don't know if it's going to focus, but the font in this is so weird. It's like every other book's in Times New Roman, and then this one's just in like, I don't know, Arial or something. But yeah, I was looking forward to reading this, and then if I like it, I can maybe, because I probably won't be able to find these secondhand, but maybe, or not in physical copies, because obviously they're quite an older book. If I was going to see more of the series around, I probably would already, but it might be one that I have to search online for secondhand books. But yeah, that was the last of the secondhand ones. And then I have found 2 books that I bought brand new that were on sale. So the first one is Elle Kennedy's The Charlie Method. I own, I think, The Deal by Elle Kennedy, but I have not read anything from her before. But I just think that would be a cute read. So whether it's like going to change my life or not, I don't know. But the writing in this is tiny. Holy guacamole. This is 512 pages of a romance with teeny tiny writing. That's scary. So The Charlie Method, and then also got When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I have had this book on my Kindle for such a long time, and normally I'm not one to buy books when I already own the e-copy. Actually, no, that's a lie. I do want the physical copies, and I do like having e-copies of books so I can essentially carry my library with me, but not ones that I haven't read before. I've either bought the physical book first, read it and loved it, and then bought a second copy on my Kindle, or vice versa. I haven't not read a book and then bought 2 copies of it, because I don't usually understand why people do that. But this one was on half price for $9, and then I got The Charlie Method on sale or clearance for $8. So I took a risk, and I hope that I actually really enjoy this book. Otherwise, shame on me. But anyway, it's my money, so I'm going to do what I want with it. Anyway, that is the haul. So I ended up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 22 books all up for August, which is pretty good. I mean, most of these are actually found on one day because I tend to just go shopping on the weekend. And then I can only shop so much before I'm like wiped out emotionally and mentally and physically and don't ever want to go back down the shops again. So yeah, that is it for this video, guys. I will put them all in on the shelves. I'm not going to be able to pick them all up, to be honest, because that's still only half the piles. But these are all the books. Oh, and you can't even see because I've got it the wrong way. Yeah, this is not going to end well. I can tell already. Why do people do this? Why am I doing it? Okay. Here are all the books for this week's video. Let's put these on the shelves, and then I'm also actually going to enter them into Goodreads as well as I go. So I'm going to grab my phone and I'll come back and set everything up so that you can actually see what I'm doing, because this angle is, oh, and they're going everywhere. This angle is terrible. All right, I hope it's not going to be too far away. But this side over here is a little bit less stacked because this is the books that I have currently read. And I did get rid of quite a lot of books when I was moving and Oh, my fridge just clicked on. Yeah, so when I moved, I did donate quite a large amount of books and just kept like my absolute favorites. So it's been fun to rebuild the library, but also I'm kind of sad that I did have so many that I donated. But there's nothing that I remember donating that I've really, really missed. So I think that's probably shows that I've kept the right books. But we're going to put the 2 Nalini Singh books and the Scarlett Sinclair book into this side because I have read them, and then I know where they are, so if I ever want to do a reread. And then I'm just gonna throw my slippers off to the side. Then we'll fit all of these others into the side that you're currently sitting on, which is my TBR side, and you can have a look at how good it looks with so many books on there for now. But these are going in here. So I have the set. I will do a close-up for you guys so that you can actually see. But even though these sets are all different sizes, they're all the same set of books, but still different sizes because, you know, why not? Here. And then everything in my library is currently alphabetical. If it's not alphabetical, I've just had a brain fart on that day and it's not in the right order, but it's all meant to be alphabetical by author's surname. Yeah. S. There's a lot of S's. So many S's. So this is also down the bottom here. All right. I'm going to show you what this side looks like up close. So these are the books that I've been collecting. I'm missing about 4 in this series. So I've got, I think there's 1 or 2 that's missing somewhere in the middle here, and then the rest are ones that have come out more recently. This is a book of short stories on, oh, you can't even see because I can't do this properly. This is a collection of short stories that is Nalini Singh's Psy Changeling series. So it's a completely different series to the Guildhunter one. But I would recommend reading anything from Nalini Singh. So her Guildhunter one is more angels and vampires, but set in modern New York. It's not theological at all. So there's no like God or heaven or hell or anything like that. But it's definitely very interesting premise, and I really, really love these stories. It does follow the same couple with other couples interspersed in here. So the main 2 characters and their sort of group is a continuing storyline. So it's not one that's interconnected standalones. You have to read them in order. But there are a couple of books like Archangel's Blade, which is one of my favorites, which is predominantly on a different character, same as a few of the others. They do follow other characters in there, but they do continue to go back to the main 2 characters, which is the Archangel of New York. So it is a really, really, really fun series. And then the Psy Changeling series that Nalini Singh has is, again, she's got the main series and then sort of like a spin-off series, which is not quite like a Next Generation type thing. It's all still within the same time frame, but they are interconnected standalones. You do, I think, for the best reading experience, need to read them in order, but they are a different couple for every book. So yeah, those are something I would recommend to anyone who's into paranormal romance or fantasy romance. But yeah, this is my red side. So there are quite a few that I'm collecting of series, like Sherlyn Kenyon series. I've got bits and bobs of books because I was buying up until here new. And then I moved and stopped buying physical copies, and then, you know, they do this, which kills me a little bit. And same for some of the others here. But yeah, Kresley Cole, another one I would definitely, you can't even see, I'm terrible at this camera thing. but the lighting in here is also terrible, so sorry. I'm probably getting sick and I look sick. But yeah, Cressy Cole is definitely, her Immortals After Dark series is fantastic too. She's been writing a lot more than what I have collected as well. And, you know, like any series, they do get a little bit repetitive sometimes, but I just love these first sort of ones. I still enjoy the others that are continued on, but yeah, I mean, when you've been in the same world for years, reading the same world, yeah, you do get a few repetitive storylines in there, but I do love them as well. All right, I'm going to pop you on the shelves here, and then we're going to go through and put the other books on the other side. So this is on my TBR side. So these are all the ones that are to be read. I have started reading, I've got a lot of Laurell K. Hamilton here. These books started, I think, in the 90s. So she's been writing these since the 90s. They probably wouldn't fly a little bit now. I think some of the language used and everything in some of those books probably wouldn't be considered okay now, but it's definitely what I've read up to at least the first 10 books, I think, has been a fun read. Again, this one is more of a continued on. You follow the one character along the whole thing. But yeah, you know, originally when I was doing this video, I thought it'd just be a haul, so it would be like my waist up. So I look like a dag, so we're just going to pretend what I'm wearing is halfway decent. But anyway, let's get these books on the shelves. This is the other copy of Archangel's Consort. I'm going to put this to the side and stick it in my car. I have car books. You know you're a crazy reader when you have car books in case you just randomly come across a little free library and you'll want to swap books out. But I don't want to be the type of person, like I understand that some people might not have a book to swap and so they really want to read and they'll take one. Like, I understand that that is still, like, okay, but I don't want to be that person because look at me, I don't need to be that person. I have books galore. So, all right. Again, if anything, you probably can't see from that far away, which is probably great, but these should be alphabetical. And if they're not, it's because I can't tell the alphabet anymore, which is, you know, it happens. I'm going to time lapse you guys because otherwise we'll be here for ages. On the shelves, but honestly the shelves are like a little lopsided. They don't line up into the middle, but I kind of can't be bothered fixing it up properly now. But this is all of the books so far. This is my to be read side, and yeah, it's so good. I'm getting so excited. You can see I still have a top row that I haven't really touched yet. And obviously the ends, so I could still fit, like if I were to compact them all in together, they'll probably only go to like 2.5 shelves. But yeah, it's looking really, really good. And maybe at some point I'll decorate the shelves to make it look a little bit more decor filled, but it's not really the vibe I'm going for. Like, this is the vibe I want, where it's just full of books. And everything's just sort of in alphabetical order just so it's easy to find, and then all the series are together. So I have done other book hauls that I just haven't filmed because I feel like this has become quite a common and regular occurrence, but I just found some decent books and I thought you guys might be interested if you are also interested in book hauls, which you've clicked on, so hopefully that means you are. Yeah, but I do want to fill this side up. I have sort of been working on bringing things into this space. So I've got the chair, the rocking chair. I want to grab an ottoman just so that I can put an ottoman in here as well and have a storage ottoman so I can chuck a blanket in there as well to really make this like a real cozy space. and I'm thinking maybe even a heated blanket because I'm fancy. So we shall see. But at some point there might be some sort of like, not a makeover because there's really not much else to do in here but fill it up with books, but something to sort of like jazz it up a bit. There are no doors in this space and I don't want to add doors, especially from the outside looking in, but I thought it might be cool to install maybe a curtain rod, and then when I'm in here I can just close the curtains and sort of like keep this space sort of separated from the rest of the house, because I do sometimes like to just tune out, jump in a comfy chair and read. This chair is not the most comfortable though, I'm going to be honest. This might just be a placeholder chair until I can find something that is more comfortable. It's fine for the most part, but I do sit and read for hours sometimes. So when you're reading for that long, sitting in a chair that's kind of hard, it's good for like an hour or two, especially if I'm getting up and moving around. But if I'm like burrowing in, which I have been known to do sometimes, this is not the best chair. But otherwise, I've blabbed on for no reason. The haul is done and the books are put away. So thank you so much for coming along with me. And I forgot to put everything into my Goodreads. Anyway, that's a me problem for later. Thanks so much for watching this video and I hope to see you guys next week. If you stuck around to the end, thank you so much and I'll see you next time. Bye.